This video is over fractions, decimals, and percents. We're going to start with a fraction. Start with 1/2. To change a fraction to a decimal, you divide it. So this fraction is 1 divided into 2 groups. So if I do 1 divided by 2, 1 divided by 2, I know that 2 cannot go into 1, so I can put a 0 up here and subtract 0, still have a 1. Since I have to keep going in my division, I'm going to add my decimal and bring down a 0. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Finishing my division. So 1/2 as a decimal is 0.5. Right, 1/2. All right, now as a percent, you can do one of two things. Actually, many things you could do. If you want to change the 1/2 to a percent, you have 1/2. Percents are fractions over 100. So I can set up a proportion here and solve to see what my missing variable is. So I know that 2 times 50 gives me 100. That means on the top I'm going to multiply by the same thing. I'm going to multiply by 50. 1 times 50 is 50. So 50 over 100 would be 50%. Another way that you could do this is take your decimal, 0.5, and multiply it by 100. When you multiply something by 100, what you're doing is you're moving the decimal to the right 2 times. So you could put a 0 in here, and that would be 50%. Another way that you could think about this is 0.5 is actually called 5/10, and you could set that up also over 100. Multiply it by 10. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 over 100 again is 50%. So if your denominator in your fraction goes into 100, so if it's 2 or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 or 25, then it's pretty easy to take it and make it into a proportion with a fraction with a 100 as the denominator. So that's how you would do that. Let's try a different number. See if I can scroll down here. I'm not very good at that. See, I can't do it. All right, so we're not going to scroll down. Let's use the fraction 1/3. To make that into a decimal, that is 1 divided by 3. So 1 divided by 3. 3 cannot go into 1 because it's bigger than 1. So I'm going to bring that down. 3 goes into 10 3 times, which is 9. And if I keep going, it's just going to keep repeating. So I can go ahead and put a repetition bar above it. So 1/3 as a decimal is 0.3 repeating or 0.33 repeating, however many 3's that you want to put up there. As a percent, just looking above, I know that I don't want to use a proportion here, and I'll go ahead and write it out because 3 does not go into 100 evenly. So that's not the method I want to use. It'll get you close, so it's a good estimate, but it's not going to give you the perfect answer. So what I would do here is just take my decimal, 0.33, and multiply it by 100. So move my decimal to the right 2 times to get 33%. And if you want to be really specific, since it repeats, it would be 33 1/3%. Let's go the opposite direction. I really need to figure out how to scroll this page down. Give me just a second. We're going to try to figure this out here. All right, figured it out. Just took a couple of minutes. I wanted to go in the opposite direction. So let's say that we start off with a percent. Let's say we have 25%. What do we do with that? How do we change that to a fraction? And how do we change that to a decimal? So let's change it to a fraction first. I know that all percents can be written with a 100 in the denominator. So 25% is 25 over 100. Now, you could leave it that way, or you could simplify it. Simplifying fractions always makes life easier for us. So 25 divided by 5 is 5. 100 divided by 5 is 20. I can keep going. Divide those both by 5 again. I get 1 over 4. So 25% is the fraction 1 over 4. And to change 25% to a decimal, when we changed a decimal to a percent, we moved the decimal to the right 2 times. So it makes sense when we have a percent to change it to a decimal, you're going to take the decimal and move it to the left 2 times. So 25% is 0.25 or 0.25.